Hey, thanks for joining me today for this 90-day process bootcamp. So we're actually going to be diving into the first introductory session of the process bootcamp. So this is an idea so if you've been considering processes, or if you are somebody that knows that your business needs processes, but you don't know where to start, or you don't know what to do, but you just are feeling the symptoms, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I just want to give you some keys to think about to understand what's going on, maybe what to do about it, and give you my 5 keys of this journey. So we're going to start here. We're starting April 2nd. The April 2nd date today is just a way to give that intro. So what we're actually going to be looking at and some of the keys. We will be starting then in April 12th, which is a Friday at I think it's 1 p.m. Eastern time. We'll actually be diving in with a small group, and we're going to actually do this over 90 days. We're going to meet once a week, and we're going to make sure over this quarter you're going to get processes that improve your business. But first we have to understand a couple things. So I'm just going to go through here. The first thing is, you may say, well, who am I? And, that kind of matters, I guess. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't to you, but I've owned over 8 companies, service business, real estate. I've been doing this for a long time. Over 20 years of making a lot of mistakes and doing it. But I think the idea that I want you to know here is I'm involved with a lot of stuff, so it's impossible for me to do it all. So I have to rely on processes. I like to golf. I like to go camping. I go out in the field as far as service businesses sometimes and just help train and support. I'm also a 2-time published author, so I have 2 books that are published. They're not self-published, so that's a big deal in the author world. And then I have an executive MBA from Villanova. So just a couple things of who I am and what I do. But the purpose is like I can't do this without process. I mean, that's all I really want you to know. And hopefully just know my style. Sometimes my style, you like it, maybe you don't like it. But this is why I do these things. So process equals freedom. I really want you to think about that as we look at this. And if you're looking for freedom, if you're looking to get better with your time, have more money, have the freedom, processes do this. So I want you to just know that that's the big idea. The processes create the freedom that we want. Growing your revenue doesn't. That's a myth. So if you just get to, if you're $1 million now and you get to $2 million, that's not going to create freedom. You think it does, but it won't. If you're at $1 million and you create processes, you can have freedom, and you'll make more money, and you'll probably get to $2 million, and you'll be able to hire better people, and you'll have processes, and it'll be good. So processes equal freedom. I want you to know that. We're going to go through this kind of quickly just because I know you're busy. You probably don't have a lot of time. So we're going to go through it quickly. If you can stay with me here for 10 or 15 minutes, we'll go through this. I think you'll find it valuable. But I want you to ask this question. How does life change by having a business that runs on processes, not you? If it runs on processes, not you, how does life change? I mean, I can think of a lot of things. I live it. How about you? What would it change? How would you show up? How would it be different with your family? What would your people do? Would you keep people? Would they stay? Would you not get irritated? Would you not be chasing people away? Whatever it is for you, what is it? Again, not relying on you. If you go away for the next quarter, half a year, and it's not relying on you, what would it look like? How would life change? I think it's pretty good. So just keep that in mind. I want you to ask, and this is funny, I'm actually going to put this right down here over this just for the fun of it, but what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms that you experience in your business? And these can be from cash flow, from sales, to retention, to hiring, you name it. The symptoms typically come from lack of process. If you think about sales, if you're not selling what you want to do, then there's probably a disconnect. So you have to look at the process and say, do we have the right lead magnet? Do we have the right bait on the hook? Then when we get it in, what's our process to handle the lead? If you fumble it at the call, like I hear what, people, they fumble it, when they call in and they never get back to them. Or maybe you get back to them and you go meet with them, but you never get them an estimate in a timely fashion. Somebody else takes it. Well, maybe you do the job and you're not organized, and you get there and you don't have materials, and the customer sees that you're not organized, so they don't call you back, they don't give you a good review because you don't have a process. Well, maybe at the end, once it's done, you don't follow up in the end, and you just do the little thing that just makes the customer upset or angry, and they try to cut your pay, or you do something like that, or again, don't refer you. These are things that happen, and symptoms. Then this relates to cash flow and some of the other challenges: frustration, stress. Each one that I actually broke down is a symptom. Maybe you don't have a good way to estimate, or maybe you don't have time in the office and you're splitting back and forth, and it's not just you, it's your people. So you need processes along there. But what are some of the symptoms? So the next question that I would ask in this, and I would ask you to write these down. These are just brainstorm this. Use this as a part of this first session that I wanted to do virtually, is just because I believe this is so powerful and it can change your business and change your life. So if you just go through it and pause it and write down the symptoms, you're going to start mapping out a terrific outline of what you need to do. So the next question is, what's it cost? What's it cost? Those things that I mentioned, every one of those has a hiccup point, and what's it costing? When you actually look at the cost of these things, from not getting the job or not getting back to somebody, it's a lot of money. So the idea is, if you're doing a job and the average job is $50,000, if it's $10,000 or it's $500,000, I don't care. For you, it's a lot of money, because that's your deal. So if you do $2 million jobs and you fumble it somehow, you lost $2 million. If you do $50,000 jobs and you fumble it, you lost $50,000 times the number of people that come in. So it's a big number. If you do $2,000 jobs and you fumble it, you're losing $2,000 per thing. That adds up a lot, and it's very costly. These are hidden costs, so you don't actually see it, but you feel the symptoms. So if I go back to the symptoms, you actually feel them. So I think it's really important to understand what's it cost in the symptoms. I actually mentioned a couple of these, whether it's losing staff, customers, sales, poor cash flow, stress on you or your family, the same revenue. These are things that we see over and over as symptoms, but it 99% of the time it comes back down to the process. Because if you want to scale and grow, let's look at how a business starts. Business starts by, typically, you have an idea, you're good at something, and you start doing the work, and then you have to hand it off to people that have no clue what they're doing sometimes, and you have to hope that they do it. So that's handing it off for processes, but you have to have that transition is where a lot of businesses struggle. And there becomes a capacity, whether you're at, let's say you're at $1 million and everything's on you, you get to a capacity where you can't stretch it further because you're doing too much of the processes and it relies on you. So that's what we're talking about here. Time, money, freedom. It's a big thing. One, you have to have the right mindset. You got to implement strategy. You got to put processes in place, and you got to have support. Those are all keys to make this thing work. So I want you to just remember that, and you can pause it at any time. But the number one thing that you need to do, and this is going to sound cliche, maybe, but you got to start. Too many times you talk about it, you know there's an issue, you want to fix it, you hope it's better. The number one thing I find from the people that get results and the ones that don't get results is they start. I can't be any more simple than this. So whatever objection that you have, whatever concern that you have, whatever that is, you can't get the results if you don't start. I know it sounds basic. The number one thing that you need is the ability to start, to chase away the demons that are keeping you in the same spot and holding you hostage. You got to start. You got to find a way to start. You got to say yes. Don't let that other things do. So if you can do that, the number one thing you need is the ability to start. You have to find a way. If you do that, you'll get the results. You'll get the processes. They won't be perfect, but you'll go. I'm going to go through this here. Again, I have a special offer at the end. If you stay, I'm going to give you a great offer here to take advantage of. I want to go through 5 secrets. I think they're important to this whole concept because currently most people aren't doing anything here. So I need to help you understand what's at stake. We actually said, there's, thousands and thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and sometimes millions of dollars at stake for what we're doing. Secret number 1, the lack of time to start keeps time a problem. So if you are struggling with time, that becomes the thing that keeps you stuck. So in order to overcome that, you have to create processes that free up your time. And I want to be clear, this isn't just for owners. Once you know the system, you actually will keep people because you're going to help give them processes so that they can be effective and not be overwhelmed, and it's going to be good. So the lack of time, if you don't have time, that's a symptom of not having processes. So you have to figure out how to double down and just get started, going back to number one, just so you can create the time that you actually want. That goes back to freedom. So you've got to be able to do that. That means, yes, if you have to put something on hold that isn't as valuable as the 50 or 100 or 200,000 or $2 million, things that we uncover, then yeah, that has to wait. Typically, this stuff is way more important, but the other things eat up our time. So we have to do that. The second thing is it costs more not to improve than it does to stay the same. So if you stay, not to improve. So again, the idea here, and I'm not sure if that's phrased exactly correctly, but the idea here is if you stay the same, it's going to cost a lot more. It costs less for you to take a step and invest in anything to grow. So if you invest in something and you move a little bit, you've grown, and that's in cutting down that high cost thing. So it's real important to remember it costs more not to improve than it does if you take action. So you want to take action, again, going back to the starting. Secret number 3 is when you pay, you get results. So this is again, another fun one here, but if you're serious about getting results, if you're serious about creating time, money, freedom, you have to pay. I can't be more direct about it. If you've been doing this, I want to ask you this question. How long have you been lacking processes, and how long have you wanted time, freedom, money, whatever it may be, to improve that? That doesn't mean it's bad, but you want to get to the next level. I mean, we work with companies that are doing millions of dollars already, but they want to do better, or there's too much weight on their shoulders. So the idea is, you have to pay for accountability to get results and a process that works. So if you get a process that works, you implement it, and then you actually grow your business and reduce some of the things that you need to do, and life gets better. So you need to pay. You need to pay somebody. If you don't want to, work with us, find somebody that you can pay to get results. It doesn't matter. But you have to commit to something that makes you show up and say, you vote, in the sense, or you keep yourself accountable by your checkbook, by your payment. So where you pay, you're going to pay attention. So pay. I've learned that when I pay, I get results, and I want results. The quicker you get them. So that's really important. Secret number 4 is progress is not perfect. I love this one because when you think about progress, we always think we need to look for the perfect solution. So progress is not perfect. You don't need it to be 100%. A lot of times in sports, they talk about 1% even. Just get 1% better. So if you did, even 1% better in your processes, that's an improvement. So, chances are, if you do something and you pay the right amount and you do everything, you're going to get substantial progress. And substantial progress in implementing processes could be 20 to 50% improvement. Meanwhile, people look for 100%, saying, I just want it perfect. So progress is not perfect. We want to say, what if we implement a process just in one area? We took all the areas and we just focused on one that was most impactful, that made you the most money or reduced the most stress. Let's get the process there. That might be less than 20%, but it'll have a bigger impact in your whole organization, in your life. So progress is not perfect. We got to stop thinking that we're looking for this perfect solution that just accommodates everything. This solution may be a part for you to, we think it offers, the start and the continuing on, but maybe for you, it's just the start. And then you want to do something different later, and that's fine. But take pieces together and get the processes in place. Secret number 5 is your people want better processes. So everybody around you, your customers, your people, everybody wants better processes. So if you're not doing this, really, you're letting down your people, you're letting down your customers, because they have been begging for this. They actually want the processes. They want that. So you gotta start to incorporate and figure out how to bring them into the mix and get them there. So I guess the question is, which route do you want to take? I think it can be super simple. You can get from point A to B, or do you want to like be looping around, stepping back, losing business, all those type of things, so on and so forth. So I think it's really important for you just to ask, like, do you want just the direct route? Do you want the processes you can just, identify what you need and then put it into your business over the next 90 days? That's exactly what we're going to do. Trust the process. I like the Sixers. So trust the process. That was a big thing that they said. It'll work. It won't let you down. And that's what everybody wants. So I have a special offer here. What I would like you to do, we're doing a 90-day boot camp. I just want to share with what that is. So if any of this stuff resonated, I want you to just scan the QR code and join. We're actually going to be starting the kickoff on 4/12 at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But I wanted to do this as the first kickoff to just give some more information that you could watch, because there's a small investment. Obviously, this is one of the cheapest things that I did, because I wanted to actually bring things together for a real reasonable rate. So it's a super affordable program. The special offer that I have is two things. So there's a prepaid discount. So if you want to do this, there's a prepaid discount. The whole thing, the whole program is $2,500 for 3 months. That's it, $2,500 for 3 months. It's a great deal. And what we're going to be doing, so if you pay, the special for this is, if you do this, it's going to be, I think it's like $19.97, a one-time payment of that for 3 months of working together in a small group. And then the other thing is that's a part of the special offer is we also allow a payment setup. So I think it comes to like $800 something per month over 3 months if you want to break it down. So there's two ways. That will be going away soon, and then it's just going to be the one-time thing. Again, it's a super discounted special offer that I'm doing, because I just see so many people that need, processes. What we'll do is we'll bring you into our, environment. We're actually going to work to identify your specific processes that you need, and we're going to help you create them over 90 days. So that you can grow your business, your processes, you can reduce the dependence on you. So 90 days, and here's our money back guarantee. If you get the 90 days and we haven't given you that value of just the price of admission, we'll give your money back 100%, no questions asked. But I'm confident that you're going to see this and be a part of this and really get these processes in place so that you can take yourself out of the day-to-day. So I appreciate you tuning in. There'll also be a link below. This is also being recorded on video and audio, so there'll be in some of the notes so that you can take advantage of this. But please act fast. If the offer is still up, it's good, but when it goes away, it's gone, and then it'll just be the one-time payment there. But let me know if you have any questions. If you have a question, we can go from there. We could set up a call, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to take action and make progress. So start making progress with some new processes. Reduce dependence on you as an owner. Grow your business. Your team will thank you. Your family will thank you. Your life and you just being you will thank you. And I look forward to seeing you in the upcoming class.